Oh man, that's a wild thing to drop on an 8-year-old. Gut people into multiple parts and spread them out throughout the village. Jesus. This facial hit different, huh? Okay, it kind of looks like he's like, oh, come on, Hikaru. Take it. So in this week's episode of Murder Cult Village, we learn about the aborted fetuses and the random rituals that basically made up Hikaru, seemingly, and how religion formed. Not to mention, depending on how you look at some of the shots, it really does look like Yoshiki gave Hikaru the ride of his life and blew his head clean off, so that's pretty wonderful. Make sure you drop a like, share, support this video, subscribe if you're new around your Patreons, where you catch those full live reactions to all of this and more if you also want to help fund the channel and videos just like these. So, this was probably the biggest info dump they've given us, but no one can deny like, they had no shame, bro. And you can't even say it's just me having a dirty mind. The analogies that they are constantly talking about, swallowing this, that, and the third, and I love it, man. Yuri can never. Boys love for life. But, this is like the third time. Wait. We started the show with real Hikaru dying. We tried to kill Hikaru by stabbing him. He got jumped in the cafe, and then he got... So this is now the third time for just imposter Hikaru for getting killed. I'm more shocked at this point when he doesn't get skewered than he does when he does get skewered. Let's be real. Thankfully, most people had a brain last week. They're like, why would anyone consider that a spoiler? I only had one brain dead in the comments last week that were like, you ruined the surprise! Literally everyone's videos had the shot of his head cut off, which, to be honest, I don't even think is an issue because we've seen worse at this point. I have it making it look like Yoshi gets stabbed, and some guy was like, we're smarter than you realize. And it's like, no, you're not. I can tell what size school bus you rode on. Anyway, the idea of him being weaker is what makes now the damage interesting, because he gave essentially half of his life to Yoshiki. He keeps it in his little front pocket here. So that means when he gets hurt, he doesn't just like immediately is okay again. Also means he can't actually protect him all that well. So now, scar around his neck, he's feeling pain. This is worrisome because from what we understand, these spirits will be like attracted to him like a magnet. That's why seemingly when he was in the mountainside, things kind of existed in the mountains. It's a little different if he was strong and could just kill everything like he was for a good while, but as long as Yoshiki has half of him, he can't do that. But if we give him the other half back, he probably would feel more monstrous again, so it's kind of like a pick your poison at this point. The dude who cut our head off, we learned that he's blind, but he has ghostly glasses that when he wears he can see. I guess, sure, his sword last week, I said, man, if that was a normal human, you would have cut his head off. People are like, well, actually, the sword, if it's a normal human, it wouldn't go through. Sure, that might be true, but a blunt sword being swung into your neck could still crack your neck and kill you. I don't think it's much better. It's slightly better, but not that much. The big meat and potatoes of this episode was learning how much of a murder cult village this is. So essentially we got a village that developed the ultimate abortion pill, and somehow that led into we're sacrificing people left and right to feed a god for, you know, and you see this a lot with a lot of religious stories and stuff, you know, like basically you pray to a god, you sacrifice a few kids and a mother, and, you know, you get a plentiful harvest, right? And, you know, someone's a sacrifice. But then it just seemingly evolved past that. There's obviously some questions I have about Hikaru's family and the sin they did. They must have sacrificed someone, because what seemingly ended up happening over the years is rather than real heads being offered, you carved heads. And I think that's an interesting way to go, because if you even look at our own history, a lot of things that can still happen stem from pretty messed up things in the past. But so in this case, they probably actually did offer real heads served up on a silver platter. And then over time, when humanity got a little less crazy, they're like, maybe we carve out heads into wood and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hikaru's family maybe offered up a real head at one point. I don't know, something like that. My favorite reveal was actually the idea 3-4 episodes ago when they laid out the map. It kind of looked like a human body. Apparently, you bury body parts at different points, so the legs and the arms would go on the right points of the island, head up there. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, that's both cool and twisted. The fact that even the classmates, though, are pretty much saying the quiet part out loud. At first, they're like, well, we would know if there was an imposter among us, but I mean, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be able to stick around forever. Eventually, the truth would come out. But I think really what that scene does is it says, at some point, he has to go back to the mountainside, even if Yoshiki and himself want him to stay here, unless we have a way to deal with all the spirits and stuff. Like, he's not strong enough. And if you watch after the credits, there's like 30 seconds. I assume it's present day. Might have been a flashback, I don't know. But you see Hikaru as like a spiritual blob. I assume Yoshiki saw him as normally he does. And he's almost approaching in, and it looked like he was going to kill Yoshiki, but then decided not to. So you have this tug of war of, will he stab us in the back someday because of his true instincts? Will he go back to the mountainside because he's a magnet for all the evil in this world? Is there an option I'm not even contemplating yet? I don't know. This show has been remarkable, though. Like, I love memeing it to death because the jokes just write themselves. But it unironically has one of the most interesting romance-ish. Because I say romance-ish because I truly think both of them are in love with each other. But it's not necessarily designed as like a traditional romance, but more so like a horror thriller romance where it's like a love that can't be. It's an addiction. It's something that you know could kill you. And they utilize visual storytelling so good. Like that overhead shot of the map or whatever, and you see all the bones like rising up. It's, oh man, this show speaks to me on a visual level. It definitely feels like with the amount they're lore dropping, it would be impossible for this studio not to keep doing it. Like, Cygames is a very good studio for one reason. They use like mobile game money to just fund stuff. Like their business model is completely different than like every other studio. So, like, as long as they like this series, they probably will adapt to season 2. Like, profitability just doesn't matter in, like, the same way it does for a lot of studios, and I kind of love that. But, I'm 100% convinced there's no happy ending. Like, no matter how much Hikaru continues to improve as a person thing, god, entity, I don't know, the more they're revealing, the more I'm like, yeah, there's 100% no happy ending. But it would be a hell of a twist if Yoshiki's the one who doesn't make it and Hikaru gets to survive. Let me know what you thought down below of the Murder Cult Village and wild intro down below. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around. Your Patreon is, of course, where catch those full live reactions and more. Like, hey, I like to give video shoutouts to my patrons. So today we got Kieran Dean, Shadow, Askar, Armana, Kev, Joanne, Devil May Carter, GOC, Lady Killdragon, and we also have Matthew Pizarro. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.